Good morning. I am so excited to spend the day here. We've just had the most wonderful sleep, and now, at least at the moment, there's clouds, so the sun's not even super intense, which is great because I had a lot of sun the last couple days, and I'm really excited. We're gonna spend the entire day here. It started raining just lightly, but it's amazing because it hasn't rained since I got to the island 2.5 weeks ago. It's been very hot and sunny and intense, and it's made it hard to get good rest, but also hard to get lots done. And so yesterday I was feeling pretty desperate to get off the lake and out of the sun. I was tired. I'd had a long day and I just didn't want to give up until I found a spot that would be good for a rest day. I wanted good tree shade, and now I have it, and I have clouds, and I have a cool breeze and a little bit of rain, but it's still like a nice temperature. It's perfect. It's not cool enough I want to put layers on, but it's like crisp and refreshing. And I can think clearly, and I'm well rested, and yeah, I just love how that worked out. It's really nice. Get it, buddy. Do you want to go swimming? When I head out pedal camping, I take 3 different bags with me. My camp bag, my deck bag, and my day bag. So first we'll go into my camp bag. All right, my camp bag is pretty big when it's empty because it is a roll top. This is a 65-liter Boundary dry bag by Seal Line, and it has backpack straps and a waist belt, and that is, so it makes it easy to carry. You can backpack with it, or like for portages between lakes, it would make it a lot easier to carry. So it is a very big dry bag, and in here I start with my sleeping bag, tent, and air mat at the bottom. They make the bottom layer, which, because it sits this way on my deck, that would be at the back of my paddleboard. And then above that, I put all of mine and Frank's food, anything that we're not going to use before we get to camp for the night. So I do take out snacks for the day and lunch and pack that elsewhere, which I'll get to. But any food that we're not going to eat before our final camp of the day goes in there, in the middle. And then above that, I put all my personal items, like my extra clothing, my extra electronics, books, things like that. Things that maybe if I decided to take a really long lunch, I would want to get out and use, say like this shirt to cover up from the sun or something like that. So that's why I put those things at the top, and I plan to not go into the food stash so it can be in the middle. And then I definitely don't need the tent or sleeping bag until we're setting up the tent and sleeping bag. So that's why I packed that in the order. And then it does look really, really big for a 65-liter because you have to leave room to roll it over to keep it dry. So it rolls and then it buckles down the sides of the bag. And then it has this strap that goes over the top. And there I have the egg crate foam mats that I fold, I open up. So we're not going into bed. And then I have the egg crate foam mats that I kind of open up so it's 2 segments wide. And I put the poles under and then the mats wrapped in a piece of sill nylon. And then that basically is like the most forward in the bag on the board. And I mount this at the back of the board. And those mats make a really nice backrest for whenever I'm sitting, so I can lean back on it or just like take a nice break during the day on the water and have a comfortable backrest. Or if I'm in kayak mode and I'm not super engaged and upright, then I can like sit back and paddle more casually. And so the poles going on the bottom of the mats, then I don't feel them. They're protected for me. And then this gets strapped to the back of the paddle board. I put the waist belt through the handles that are there and then use a piece of cordelette to tie it down on the D-rings, and that's really secure. And then there is a cross piece of webbing that crosses the 2 straps for support. On there I have this carabiner, and that's where I clip my sandals during the day so I don't lose them, and they're easy to access to go to shore. Alright, so next up is my deck bag, and this is actually my newest piece of paddling gear. This is only my 2nd trip with it. I got it right before Frank's birthday trip, and it's a NRS bag, and it is not waterproof. It is like a really tough kind of nylon-esque mesh, and then it has this D-ring and a drawstring. And so I put a locking carabiner on here, and this bag goes on the front of my board under the bungee straps, and then I lock this to the bungee straps. And I've switched from using a smaller dry bag on the front to this for a few reasons. One being having a fully sealed dry bag on the front made it really hard to get in and out of on the water. It made it hard to access things. Because then like I could maybe get wet in there, and if I was putting everything in a dry bag, then it probably was also in a dry bag. And I also, in using the dry bag on the front, obviously wasn't going to put wet stuff in it because it would get everything else wet and it wouldn't dry very well sealed up in a dry bag. So when I saw this, I just knew that I had to have it, that it would be a solution to a problem I wasn't quite clear on. And it turns out I was right. So anything that needs to stay dry in here goes in a dry bag. This is also a Seal Line 10 liter dry bag. This is for my camera. And then like it doesn't matter if my tripod gets wet. So I put things in here that can get wet or will get wet. And then anything else is in a dry bag, like my camera gear, but stuff that's easy to access. So some things I have like are a couple extra fins for this trip. Some extra cord. I have my AG1 bottle. I keep my water filter and my water bag if it's empty in here. This is where I also want everything accessible that I'm going to use at any time through the day, whether I'm on the water or stopped for lunch. So the camera, that way I can easily access it and use it to shoot at lunch. Before that, it was so packed away I would only use it at camp. So that was a great change. And then if, say, I take off my wet swim shorts, I can just throw them in here. I also keep my water bottle in here and my GoPro floaty handle. So if I take the camera off the pole mount, then I put it on the floaty handle. So the floating handle is either in here or under the bungee strap. And then I also pack my lunch and stove and whatnot in a dry bag in here. So when I go to shore to have lunch, I can just pull this off the board, and everything I want for during the day, whether on the board or at lunch, is in here. And things that are wet, Won't get everything else wet because it's in smaller dry bags, but they'll be able to air out and it just makes things really accessible. So I'm really stoked on this addition. And I also use this bag when I go out just like on a day trip. I will put everything I want on the board on here. It makes it really easy to walk it down to the lake. And then everything's contained and it's attached, so I don't have to worry about dropping stuff if I have loose things. Some other things I keep in this deck bag that I forgot to mention include my bear spray because I want that accessible, my swim mask, which I've started bringing with me because it makes going under the water much more enjoyable, as well as my toilet paper and first aid kit and trowel, just like those sorts of things. Those are all kept in here. It's actually amazing like how much stuff this holds. I think it was a 35 liter bag. So yeah, that's super handy. And then last but not least, this is my day bag. So this is a small seal line, roll top waterproof, kind of like fanny pack pouch. I strap this around the little cross support on the big camp bag, and then it just like rests off the back, and so that way I can grab it, pull it around, it's still attached, and I can have this in my lap without it being loose when I'm on the board. So this is for things I want super handy and want to be able to get into without crawling around the board. So that includes my knife, a lighter, extra GoPro batteries, things like lens cleaning cloths, doggy poo bags, my InReach, my Kula cloth, ibuprofens in case I start to maybe feel a migraine coming on and want to try to avert it, as well as all mine and Frank's day snacks. So not our lunch, but our day snack, so I can grab a snack on the board or give him a little treat. And as well as my glasses / sunglasses case go in here. So basically, if I had to like abort ship, this would be like the one bag that I would grab because it has a little bit of snacks. It has my knife, lighter, and my Garmin InReach with the SOS, the active subscription. So that's a really important bag, but mostly I just go in it for snacks and occasionally to change a GoPro battery, but that's not very common. So if I were just going out on the water for say like a casual like 1 hour paddle, or just to like go float out and enjoy sunset or something, then this would be the one bag I use. If I'm going out for a full day, I have both of these, and if I'm going out for an overnight or multiple nights, then I have the 3 bags which I just showed you. There's also a couple of things I bring with me that don't go in any bag, and that is my emergency pump, a small hand pump, as well as a repair kit and a tiny hand gauge so I can check the pressure, as well as my kayak blade so I can put it on instead of the handle to use my paddle as a kayak paddle. Or if I were to lose my stand-up paddle, at least I have a kayak blade that I could like get by paddling. So it's like kind of a emergency paddle. And those are just strapped onto the front of the board under the bungee. And then this, my hammock that I've been thoroughly enjoying today, goes in my deck bag if I think I might be stopping and hammocking, or sometimes I put it in my camp bag, but probably more often in the deck bag because it fits there well, and I don't mind if it gets wet because this nylon dries really super fast. And yeah, all in, it's a lot of stuff, but it also like isn't really, because we have a pretty like set up luxurious camp, and it's not more than I could manage. And if I really needed to, I could strap my deck bag to my camp bag with the mats. It would fit there, and I could put the board over my head, and I could carry everything I have with me at once, except for Frank. So we're gonna have to find a different solution than me just carrying everything if we want to portage someday. I hope you found that helpful or at least interesting in some way, but all of that talking got me pretty thirsty, so I just came over to what I've been using as my little kitchen area to hydrate, which is the perfect segue to today's sponsor, who is Drink Element. Element is a super tasty and easy to make electrolyte drink mix, and it comes in these handy little sachets, so it's easy to take with you wherever you go, whether you're going on like a backcountry camping trip like myself, or you're going to the gym, or you just want to have in your purse or car stashed away for when you need to replenish lost electrolytes. Electrolytes play a vital role in so many different functions within your body, but whenever you sweat, you lose them. And I definitely notice I have way less cramping and headaches and just feel better overall when I'm sweating a lot and I drink Element. It comes in tons of great flavors and has a science-backed blend of electrolytes with none of that other BS you don't need in an electrolyte drink mix. And if you'd like to give Element a try, go to drinklmnt.com/TIDELINETOALPINE, and when you do that, you're gonna get a sample pack with any purchase, whether you're buying the drink mix or the sparkling beverage. If you use my link, you're gonna get the sample pack included. The sample pack has 8 of their tasty flavors, so you can see which one you'd like to try next or share with a friend. So thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. I'm a huge fan, and it's been great to hear so much positive feedback in the comments below from people such as yourself. But with that said, I think I'm gonna go look for some berries to snack on. This one's really good. It's a really good bush. Mmm. Yum. Pretty stoked on that. These little red huckleberries are one of my favorites, and they were the first wild food I can recall learning as a kid. Eating these was a common thing to do on camping trips with my family growing up. I'm very happy to have most of a cup full, but I'm actually going to save these for after dinner and enjoy them on the beach. The light here in the evening is so nice. It's really such a beautiful place to camp on the lake. I'm really stoked to be here, and I'm not ready for dinner yet, so I'm gonna go back to relaxing, which is what we've done most of the day. I've been sitting around on the ground and swinging in the hammock and spending a lot of time reading, and kind of had a little nap and stuff. And yeah, it's been a really nice leisure day. I'm pretty warm. I think I might actually go in the lake once more and then, yeah, just lounge around till dinner time. All right, it is dinner time. It kind of just looks like slop, but I find it tasty. This one is Kamut TVP and savory seasoning with a whole bunch of different greens powder, including kale powder, spinach powder, and like a mixed super greens powder. And it's really nutritious and kind of like covers the basis, but it doesn't look super appealing. Do you want a huckleberry? Do you want another one? Yum, you can't quite reach them anymore, hey bud. Thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, that's a silly face. Oh, is that a good spot? Oh, is that a good spot? Yes. You're so cute, Frank. Are you having the best morning ever? It's the perfect temperature. Oh, it's so nice. This is everything we wanted during the heat wave, Frank. Franklin. Come here. Hi, good morning. Good morning, Frank. Oh. Good morning. Hello. Are you in there? Good morning. It's kind of windy. It's a little cool out. And it's mostly cloudy. So I've just been trying to figure out like what to do today. We could take a rest day here or we could paddle. Still really know what to do. Like I said, I'm winging it out here. I don't have a plan. I didn't do any research. I mean, I did. I looked at maps and stuff. That's the research I do. I look at maps. And so, yeah, I just, you know, Frank and I, we just went for a paddle last week, and it was just a day paddle, and I got like 5K down the lake, and I didn't want to turn back. It was so beautiful, and I thought, wow, I wish I could just keep going. And so that's what spawned this trip, is that we did set out to just keep going and go all the way around so I can see the whole lake. Satisfy my curiosity. Do you want to go paddling today? So I'm mostly packed up, and I had actually set up the camera to film a time lapse of the entire takedown of camp, and I messed up and it didn't time lapse. So yeah, that's okay. I'm making noodles. I decided that I was absolutely willing to go out in today's conditions. I feel strong, I feel energized, I'm stoked to go paddling. I think Frank agrees, and so I figured if I'm willing to go out there today, I might as well go out there today because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. And we'll just go like with the excitement of discovery. And like, it'll be fun, be a little rough. And so I figured I should eat first. I'm not planning to stop for lunch, just paddle until we find a good camp. Because it is supposed to deteriorate later this afternoon. Chill, Frank? You look super chill. Nice day. We are going almost dead downwind, and without even paddling, I am making really good time. I don't think I would ever go out in this if I were going upwind unless I absolutely had to. This would be hard to paddle against, but it's good. I feel good. I feel great about this. Good decision to get out here today. We just went around a curve in the lake, and it is way calmer here. It's really nice. I might end up having to stop somewhere to swim because the sun is really intense today. But yeah, that was awesome. That was really fun, but also quite serious. I took it very seriously. I had such a smooth launch. I thought everything out, all the steps. I was in complete control of the board. Frank was sitting upright just as I first launched, but he settled real quick. I got on the board, got him between my legs, facing forward so his head's not in the way of the paddling, which makes it easier for me to focus. And at first there was a lot of like swirling as we were a little broadside with the wind just trying to get down our beach, but once we were able to turn and had the wind at our back, you know, the water was big for what I've experienced, but I felt totally calm and relaxed and at ease, and knew that the water wasn't big enough to flip us even if we got turned sideways. So yeah, it feels great. I would have been absolutely terrified if I was in that situation my first year out, but now I've like worked my way up and gone out for fun in wind and bigger waves to like play and practice. That was one thing that was really good in the Yukon, is the lakes they were really windy, so I got a lot more comfortable on the water. So I am now directly across where I stayed the first night. It's like right over there. Yeah, and we're just cruising along slowly, just peeking out for campsites. I've seen a couple so far, but they had lots of logs at the entrance, so that'd be like a little tough for Frank. I like him to be able to take himself for a drink of water and have that level of autonomy. So yeah, we're just cruising and we'll find a good spot. So the lake is kind of crescent shaped, so we're on the bottom half of the banana now, and it is quite a bit calmer, so I can enjoy standing up, and it's not like exciting. Okay, it's better view standing. I do enjoy the paddle stroke more as well, so yeah. Passing by this small ephemeral island means we are now in familiar territory. So I have a pretty good idea where we're going to camp. I'm going to keep my eye out. I might be surprised by something, but I'm pretty sure I know where we're going to go. This isn't the spot I had in mind, but we have a good beach, a good place to tie up the paddleboard, and our Butis tree, which was on my list of things I really wanted with today's campsite, and a spot that's going to be good enough to sleep in. It's a little better suited for a one-person tent, but we're going to make it work. That's not a problem, but it's well protected. There's some clouds building in the east. It has good lake access for Frank, so he can take himself to get water, or if it gets hot today, we can go for a swim. There's definitely trees for a hammock, and there's going to be better cat hole digging than the last spot, although I did get to eat a lot of berries on my cat hole adventure this morning. I had some huckleberries, blackberries, and even found some ripe salal berries, so that was nice. It was 2:30 when we arrived here, which means we have all of today and all of tomorrow to just hang out and relax here, and then less than 5K to paddle back to the pickup point. All right, I have set up camp and filtered a bag full of water for us. Frank's enjoying the sun on the beach. And I'm going to quickly go check out this waterfall that's right behind our campsite. I have vastly overestimated the size of this lake as well as underestimated my paddling endurance. And so we're going to be spending all of today here because I paddled 8K yesterday to get here, which felt like a really short day. And now I have less than 5K till the pickup point, which we don't get picked up till 2 p.m. tomorrow. So we're just here. We're just hanging out. I'm letting Frank, he can just lay in the tent all day if he wants. I have set up the hammock. But yeah, turns out the lake is really only about 40 kilometers around and not my estimated 50 kilometers from looking at maps. So yeah. Anyways. So it's probably going to be a kind of long, slow day today because, one, I read all of the book I brought. I finished it last night. It was really good. So, two, I'm out of phone battery. So I won't be able to use my phone. Now that there's phone service, there's been no phone service the entire time. This whole trip, which has been amazing. I'm just completely unplugged, completely disconnected from the rest of the world. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with any of my social medias. It's amazing. But yeah, I won't be able to watch pre-downloaded YouTube videos today. It is overcast and gray. So I'm not super inspired to go swimming and play in the water because I will feel a little chilly when I get out. And this light clothes is all the layers I brought. I didn't bring anything warmer. So yeah, I don't know. We're literally just gonna chill today. So I'm very excited to make ramen for lunch. And then I've brought a special dinner tonight for my last night. I'm very excited about. So there's that. Oh. It's lunchtime. I really do love instant ramen, but I mixed things up today I had half a carton of the instant shredded potatoes. So I added them in here, and it's a really common thing to do through hiking is to add instant mashed potatoes to your ramen just to make it be more food. It's called a ramen bomb. But I actually like this a lot better because then you still get the broth to sip. It's not all mash. So, yeah. Hi. Hi. Well, hello. I don't know what. This lens is ridiculous. I just took some of the silliest photos. Look at that. Why is that so wide? I'm in a little bubble. If you ever wondered what it's like to live inside a marble, this is it. Anyways, Frank got tired of the hammock. He went back to the beach. End of story. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating. I think it's like, yeah, it's like 2:45. We have 23 hours until we get picked up. Hello. Hi. So we have 23 hours until we get picked up. Oh, what are we doing here? All right, it is finally time to make dinner. And the reason I say this one is special is because this is the first iteration of camp meals. I've gone through 3 now. So the first iteration, they weren't really instant like the ones I've been making. I have to boil this in the pot for 5-10 minutes and then let it sit for 10-20 minutes before it's ready to eat. And what this is tricolor quinoa and split red lentils. Both of those cook really fast. There's also dried leeks and a savory seasoning, as well as salt and probably garlic powder. And when I started to pre-make my camp meals, it was because I was so frequently going out on last minute overnight trips into the mountains that preparing food to bring with me was kind of the biggest holdup in getting out the door and getting on trail. So I just kind of started by making like 10 or 20 of them at a time. Well, it's really not a very exciting meal, but it's filling, it's nutritious, it cooks easily and pretty quickly on that type of camp stove, and it's cheap. It's way more affordable than the prepackaged camp meals, and it's easily accessible items. So, it's got a lot going for it, and for me, tonight, it is a nostalgic meal. I awoke in the night to waves crashing and trees squeaking, which was a little unnerving. I managed to get back to sleep, but either way, I generally sleep pretty lightly out here. So I'm a little tired today. I've got camp mostly packed up, I'm just having a second cup of coffee and buying a bit of time before heading out. I have 3.5 hours till pickup now, and at most an hour and a half of paddling, unless the wind shifts. There are whitecaps out on the lake. But it seems to be going in our favor, which is actually the first time I've seen the wind at this end of the lake blow east. So hopefully it stays that way and we don't have to paddle into a headwind, but I'm planning to get back there early just in case. But yeah, it's been a great trip out here on my hometown lake, the lake I have been to throughout most of my life. I was 7 when we moved to the island, so I've been making memories out here ever since. I definitely see it in a whole new way. It was so mysterious before. I'd only been down, you know, at the one end of the lake and I'd always wondered what was up the lake, and I'd always wanted to go to the other end of the lake, and now I've done that and I've paddled the whole shoreline, and you know, I'm sure there's still some mysteries to be had, but I've gone and satisfied my curiosity for now. So that's a really rewarding thing, and I think it's just so cool to just do an adventure at home and not go off to some famous place, some park, or you know, well-known route, and just to make my own route somewhere that's meaningful to me. And I think if I'd like there to be any takeaway from this trip is that you can make adventure anywhere, and that it changes how you see a place. So if where you are feels boring, go make something exciting out of it, and you'll see it a lot differently. So yeah, it's been a beautiful trip. It's been great memories with Frank. There you go, bud.